I got ChatGPT to create a beginner's guide to Red Dead Online. Now, of course, I've already done beginner's guides on this channel. I've done loads of guides for Red Dead Online over the years, but I've actually decided, you know what, I've seen it, it's not an original idea really. I've seen for other games people do it where they actually have ChatGPT create a guide or a step-by-step sort of tutorial really in terms of what to do in certain games. So I thought, let's do it theme with this channel, let's do it about Red Dead Online, and I have asked ChatGPT to create the first 10 hours, or what you should do for the first 10 hours of Red Dead Online. We'll go through it, and we'll talk about whether it's any good, whether this actually makes sense, and whether it's actually something you should follow. That's what we'll be doing in this video. But just before all of that, I want to talk about today's sponsor, Instant Gaming. Now, Instant Gaming is a fantastic website where you can get games for really cheap prices, and right now you can get them for insanely cheap prices because of the Black Friday deals. And yeah, it's really something that you can't miss out on. Black Friday's literally once a year. The month of November's always a special one in terms of deals and discounts. And yeah, with Instant Gaming, the prices are already really cheap. You're already getting insanely good prices, but with Black Friday, you're getting them even cheaper than they already are, which personally didn't think was possible, but they managed to make it happen. So whatever game it is you're thinking of getting, whatever platform it is, whatever, you might even be getting a gift card for a friend or a game for a friend, or whether it's for yourself, maybe treat yourself just before Christmas. But whatever it is, be sure to check out the current Black Friday events and discounts on Instant Gaming using the link in the description. So yeah, definitely check that out. Really good deals. Something to definitely take a note of. Anyways, getting back into the video. Now, ChatGPT is very detailed, of course. It's AI. AI is taking over everything, really, at the moment. So, yeah, I've seen some other people do this. I thought it'd be a great idea. I've really enjoyed watching those videos. I thought, why not make my own one? So, here you're seeing on screen what I've done with ChatGPT. So first of all, I asked, what should I do for the first 10 hours of Red Dead Online? And I didn't like the response that I got, to be honest. It's very broad, and it wasn't an exact time schedule, and also there's 13 things here, so it's not really for 10 hours. I was expecting one thing for each hour, or maybe something like that. So I said, please make this a complete time schedule. And we got, certainly, here's a more detailed time schedule for your first 10 hours in Red Dead Online. So I'll read through it all, then we'll review each thing and talk about whether this is actually any good and how this would actually work if you were to do it. So, hour 1, character creation. Spend your first hour creating your character, making them unique and to your liking. Hour 2 to 3, play through the introductory missions to learn the basics of the game, get acquainted with the controls, and earn some initial money and items. Hour 4, free roam exploration. Enter free roam mode to explore the open world and interact with other players. Get a feel for the environment. Hour 5 to 6, hunting and fishing. Spend time hunting animals and fishing to earn money, resources, and become familiar with these gameplay mechanics. Hour 7, story missions. Dive into the story missions, which provide not only interesting narratives, but also substantial rewards and experience. Hour 8, stranger missions. Complete stranger missions from various NPCs in the game world, offering good rewards and insight into the world. Hour 9, camp setup. Establish your camp as a central hub for your adventures. Customize and upgrade it to your liking. Hour 10, Showdown Series Posse and Exploration. Spend the final hour participating in Showdown Series matches or races. Consider joining or forming a posse with other players. Use any remaining time to explore the game world. Discover collectibles or engage in mini-games. Remember that this schedule is flexible and you can adjust it according to your preferences. Red Dead Online offers a lot of freedom, so feel free to explore, engage in activities, and have fun in the Wild West setting. Very good point at the end there. Now, we'll start with hour 1, which is character creation. Now, for me personally, for some people it would. It might even take longer than an hour to actually customize your character, but for me, it literally would take no more than 20 minutes. I'm not that fussed, and you can always do it at a later date. I believe the first time's free, if I remember correctly. Not entirely sure, but I believe it is. So, yeah, it's an interesting one in terms of how long that'll take you. It really varies. I know for some people they really don't care, but for me, I'll put a little bit of time into it, but generally it won't take me long. It certainly wouldn't take me an entire hour. Now, hour 2 to 3, it will take you about an hour or so to do the introduction mission, the first mission in the game. I believe there's a tutorial that you can skip, but yeah, it will take a bit of time. Yeah, I'd say about 1 or 2 hours to learn the basics of the game and go through the initial missions that you actually have to go through before you get into free roam. Now then there's hour 4, which is free roam exploration, which I get, obviously you want to explore the world, but I feel like this really varies from player to player, as it does state, to be fair, because if you're a new player and you've you haven't played the story mode, then you probably would spend a lot of time. But if you've played through the story, you know Red Dead 2, you've just not played the online, you probably wouldn't really do much free roam exploration, since everything's really the exact same map and everything like that. So in terms of how much time you spend doing that, a whole hour for me, when I first played Red Dead Online, I probably wouldn't have done, since I already knew the world from the story, because obviously the online came a little bit later than the story mode when the game launched, so I'd already been playing through the story mode. I knew the map and everything like that. I didn't really do any of that. And now we've got hour 5 to 6, and this is where I feel like things are a bit outdated. Now, 2 hours to spend hunting and fishing. If you enjoyed doing that, and that's something you wanted to do as a beginner, then by all means, of course, do that, obviously. But if you're actually looking for a beneficial 10 hours, you wouldn't go anywhere near hunting and fishing for your first 10 hours of the game. It makes absolutely no sense. Now, first of all, you'd need to get all the stuff for fishing. You probably wouldn't be able to even afford half of that. You need the baits and everything like that. So yeah, it's a really, really bad way of making money. Back in the day when the game first launched, it wasn't half bad at all, and you probably would do something like that for 2 hours. But to do that for 2 hours, and you'll probably earn literally next to nothing, it's really not something worth doing. So that would be a waste of time. But I would say hour 7, the story missions should be moved here, and you should be, yeah, I'd skip out the hunting and fishing if I was ChatGPT personally. That wouldn't be something that I'd put there. And then, yeah, hour 7 story missions, you want to spend a lot more than an hour doing those in the first 10. In fact, I spend the majority of the first 10 hours, if not literally all, going through these story missions, which do have the best rewards as a beginner. They'll give you the gold bars that you need, and pretty much what I would say is go through all those story missions, and after that, do a couple stranger missions, because then you'll be very close to having enough gold bars to get a bounty hunting license, which is, of course, the only role that rewards gold. But I won't go into loads of detail. I've done a full beginner's guide. I'll link that at the end of this video and in the description. But yeah, so in terms of the story missions, that should be the main thing that you do as a beginner. The Land of Opportunity missions are the best way to make money and gold and XP as a complete beginner, and you should spend the majority of the 10 hours doing this right here. So then we got stranger missions. Yeah, you could do an hour of stranger missions, but what I'd also look at is the blood money missions, since you can do those as a beginner. They're basically stranger missions, but the rewards are a little bit better, and of course you also get to participate in those, I've forgotten what they're called now, the opportunities, the 3 bigger missions that you get to do with the blood money sort of missions that you get in the game. There's the crimes, and then with the Capitale you can then go into the opportunity missions. Then you've got hour 9, which is camp setup. Now, this isn't going to take an hour. If it took you an hour to set up your camp as a beginner, then I'd be shocked. Of course, you can spend a lot more time there as a veteran, but as a beginner, you're going to have nothing there. So just to spend an hour walking around, I mean, there'll literally just be a rolled up bed. You have crypts there and a wardrobe, and I think that's about it. So if you spend an hour doing that, I'd be impressed. Some people might, to be fair, but it's not going to take you. Also, it says to customize and upgrade it. In your first 10 hours, there's going to be absolutely nothing to customize and upgrade, really. So yeah, an hour doing that won't take an hour. You're just going to have a small camp at the time. You can probably do that in about 10 minutes, literally when you first load on, if you wanted to, once you're in free roam. And then hour 10, it says Showdown Series, Posse, and Exploration. Now, you could do this. Some people really, really enjoy the PvP, especially if you're on console, since there's obviously no modders or anything like that. So if you do enjoy the PvP, it's definitely worth a try when you're a beginner. You may as well try everything that you can in the game. So I wouldn't I wouldn't rely on it. It's not the best way to make money or anything like that. But Showdown Series is, it can be quite fun, especially if you've got some friends with the posse, as it says here. So yeah, I mean, especially if it is on, double money and stuff like that, maybe it's worth it. But yeah, it's not, this whole 10-hour thing isn't something I'd stick to. So if you're looking as a beginner in Red Dead Online, I wouldn't do a lot of this. It's not effective. I mean, spending 2 hours hunting and fishing will get you nowhere. Spending an hour doing a camp setup is going to get you nowhere. And then obviously doing this won't really get you anywhere either. But it is, of course, important to try out everything in the game. But if this is something that you think would work, and of course, if these are the things you want to do, if you wanted to hunt and fish in Red Dead Online, then do that. But do what you want to enjoy in the game. But yeah, this is to be fair, I'll give him credit that it isn't a 10-hour schedule for Red Dead Online. It would work. You could do all of these things in this order. That would work. It wouldn't not work. But yeah, it's an interesting one. But not awful, but absolutely nowhere near what I would say you should do for your first 10 hours. Now, if you wanted me to do a video going over what I would do for the first 10 hours of Red Dead Online, then by all means, let me know in the comments, and I will get to that 100%. And in fact, I might do something like that in the near future, comparing it to this one, going through my personal 10 hours, what I would choose to do as a complete and utter beginner in Red Dead Online. But that does just about wrap up things here. I thought it'd be interesting to look at what ChatGPT has to say about Red Dead Online as a complete beginner and what you should do for your first 10 hours. But yeah, it does just about wrap up things here. And remember to check out Instant Gaming, all their Black Friday deals. You really can't miss out on those. It's once a year, definitely worth checking out. I would really look into that. And yeah, be sure to use the link in the description for all of that. And yeah, maybe save yourself some money. But that does just about wrap up things here. On screen now, you are seeing a link to a different video. Hit the link on the screen if you are interested in watching that. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.